What's going on, everyone? Oysterman here. So today I want to talk about one of the longest held beliefs in the gun community, and it's a belief that I actually think is very wrong. And that is that women should carry a 38 snub nose revolver. And I'm not saying that no women should carry that, or if you love that carry gun that you shouldn't carry it, but I think it's really bad that so many women just get told that with no real reason. And here's my argument against it, just in a couple quick points. One is I think you're going to be a lot more capable with a Glock 19, a Glock 48, or just another compact or even a subcompact semi-auto. You have more rounds, they're generally easier to shoot, and you have more holster options. And if you actually get the choice to shoot both of them, I think you'll like the semi-auto more. When I was working at a gun range and gun store, a lot of times women would come in and either their dad or their boyfriend, husband, male friend, whatever, would bring them up to the counter and say, we want a 38 snub nose revolver. And sometimes they'd rent them to go shoot them first, and I would like that because I could usually say, well, here, take this one, but then also bring a Glock 19 just to try it. And almost always, and it wouldn't only be a Glock 19, it could be a SIG XL, just insert any compact or subcompact autoloading pistol in there. Almost always they would come back and they wanted to get a Glock 19 or a Glock 48, something like that. Almost always would pick it over the revolver. And it's just easier to shoot, it's easier to reload, it's faster to reload, and generally have a lighter trigger pull, not that long double action pull. And if you want the single action, then you got to cock the hammer manually. Slower to shoot for most people, just gonna throw that in there. And I would also see people come in and they were dead set, they wanted the 38, they wanted that snub nose revolver, and then they go shooting with their friends a couple weeks later and they're back in the store. Now they're just spending more money buying, a P365 XL or something like that. So especially when money's tight right now, I'm not saying don't own a snub nose revolver. I own one, I sometimes carry one, but if that's your only gun, I think that's a bad idea. I think you should get a good auto-loading pistol. You're going to be more capable with it, generally speaking. In most instances, most people are going to be more effective with 15 rounds out of a decent quality Glock or something like that, as opposed to with 5 rounds of 38 special out of a snub nose revolver. I'm just speaking generally. Now, of course, there are some people that maybe the only gun they're capable of shooting well is a 22. If that's you, carry the 22. Carry the Ruger LCR in 22 or 22 Magnum. But generally speaking, most people, and this is geared towards women, because women are the ones who get told, carry the 38 snub nose. No. One, carry what you want, try them both, and with a little bit of training, in most cases, you're going to be just fine with that SIG XL or the Glock 48 or 19. We would have people come up to the counter, and I'm like I said, I'm gearing this towards women here. Oh, well, my dad told me the revolver is so much more simple. I don't really think it's much more simple. Maybe a little bit more simple, but it's not much more simple than a Glock 19. And with a little bit of help, a little bit of instruction, hopefully a good handgun class near you, a lot of times you can even find female instructors who love nothing more than to see women gain confidence with a new firearm. And with a little instruction, you can become proficient. At least more proficient, I think easier than you can with that snub nose revolver. So before you go to the gun store and just instantly take that advice of your friend, and I'm not disparaging your friend here, I'm not disparaging your dads, your husbands, your boyfriends. This is a belief that's held by a lot of people, and there are some very smart, very knowledgeable in firearms people that hold this belief. That just happens sometimes. We're all human. Sometimes a belief's been held for so long that we don't want to challenge it. We like the reasoning, but this one I think is just wrong. I think it's wrong that I'll just get him a .38 special. No. Get the firearm that you're going to be most capable with of protecting yourself, because for most of us, that's why we have it. That's why we have a concealed carry handgun. We want to protect ourselves and our family. So when you're at the gun store, consider getting a Glock 19, a Glock 48. Hopefully they have a gun counter in a range that you can try the guns out before you buy them. That's, I think, the smartest thing to do. See which one you like, see which one you're shooting better with. And then, I think I touched on this earlier, but holster options too. You'll find when you start concealed carrying, you might have 7 holsters for one gun after 1.5 years or 2 years. I have a box full of holsters that never get used for the multiple concealed carry handguns I have. And when you're getting something like a Glock 19 or a Glock 48, you have a lot more options. So these are just a couple of the reasons that I think you're better off in, I'm going to say, almost all cases, concealed carrying one of these other pistols. Well, let me know what you think in the comments, whether you agree with me. If you disagree with me, just let me know why. We'll have a friendly conversation about it in the comments. Like and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day.